Praise God. Victoria again. Today, I want us to deal with the delay, the stubborn delay in our lives, the spirit behind delay. First and foremost, what is delay, or what do we understand when we say delay? Delay happens in someone's life when the only thing growing in your life is age. Literally, the only thing changing is age. Everything you would love to see change in your life is stagnant, but you are growing. Days are passing, years are passing, months are passing, but nothing seems to be changing. That is what delay is. So delay happens when you're simply just growing in age, but your life is stagnant or constant. Everything in your life, anything else in your life is constant. You're not seeing growth anywhere else in your life. Delay comes about in two dimensions, or it is orchestrated by two dimensions. We have what we call prophetic delays, and then what we call diabolical delays. I am going to handle both of them today. When delay is not handled, delay may become denial. So I am not one of the people who compliments or who the world has different sayings, and these sayings have been instigated by the devil. You hear people saying delay is not denial, delay is not denial. My dear, delay may become denial if you do nothing about it. You could be delayed until you're 80 years. And what would that mean? You could actually be delayed until you die. So that would mean your delay became a denial. So delay may become denial if nothing is done about it. Delay does not respect the ability you have. Delay does not respect the anointing on your life. Delay does not respect your level of education. Delay does not respect your gift. Delay does not respect how beautiful or handsome you are. Delay does not respect how hard you work. Delay does not respect anything. When this spirit attacks, it does not respect anything. That is why you could see a very educated person without a job for years. That is why you could see a handsome man unmarried for years, and yet they are past age. That is why you would see a woman who has been in marriage, everything is there, but they are not giving birth to children. That is why you would see a man who is ready to take on the world, who works so hard, who wakes up so early, who has done this and that. They've done all sorts of businesses, but they are still struggling financially. That is what we call delay. So year in, year out, your age changes, you grow in number, but you do not grow in blessing, and you do not grow in physical success manifestation. So delay does not respect who you are. Even if you're connected, have you seen people who are so connected and they will tell you so and so is my uncle, I know so and so, but every time something happens, it's with you. Your people keep connecting other people, but when it comes to you, you don't even get connected. Why? Because the spirit of delay is looming upon your life. Like, it disfavors you. It will take favor away from you. You're doing it all everything you know there is to do, you've prayed, you've fasted, you've worked so hard, you've gone back to school, you've looked beautiful, you've asked women out, you've taken medications, you've done everything humanly possible, but year in, year out, you do not see any change in that situation. Delay broods what we call jealousy. Delay will brood bitterness. And all these come because of stagnation. Why does jealousy and bitterness come? It's because the spirit of comparison shall creep in. You will compare yourself to your age mates. You will compare yourself to people probably you think you're more beautiful than. You will compare yourself to people you think you have better academics than. You will compare yourself to people you think you're richer than. You would see a man, probably they're rich, but everything else is not functioning. A man probably works so hard, and the other, wealth is not about working hard. That is a funny bit. You'd see someone who either works from home or even just stays in bed or is there, but they're wealthy. And you wake up, you're lifting things, you're farming, you're doing this, like every business, you're tackling every business, but you remain where you are. And that comparison, because you think you're putting in so much, or you have so much and you do not have as what others have, will brood jealousy, and it will brood bitterness in your life because you cannot become. I talked about the two different ways of delay. The manifestations in delay can be prophetic and they can be diabolical. We are going to first deal with diabolical delays. Our Bible verse in correspondence to diabolical delays is going to come from Exodus 32. In Exodus 32, verse 1. Now when the people saw that David delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, "Come, make us gods that shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." The Israelites were tired of waiting. They felt that Moses had delayed. Moses had gone up the mountain. Remember, in the previous chapter 31, God had commanded them to only worship Him. And in commanding them to only worship Him and keep the Sabbath holy, Moses had gone up the mountain to receive the tablets of stone that were written by the finger of God. So, literally to receive the manifesto of how they're supposed to move, to walk in their life. But when he got there, he kept having a dialogue with God, and to them he delayed. So because he was not returning, they felt like they do not have a leader anymore. They thought that they do not know what had become of him. And they felt that the man who is leading them and his God are constant. They're not seeing any change. They're delayed. They've stayed in this place for long. They don't know where else to go. They're not moving on. So they asked in 32, they asked Aaron to make them a god whom they are going to worship. So, what brooded this? The delay, as we've seen in verse 1, now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, they asked Aaron to make them a god. They were tired of waiting on a god who to them was not orchestrating anything. So they became bitter, they became angry, and they wanted something to happen. And remember that delay moves from generation to generation. So it did not stop. The delay did not only stop with the Israelites who were present at that time. Remember, the Israelites stay in the wilderness for 430 years, yet they were supposed to stay there for 400 years. So we've seen that from what happened to the Israelites, that delay can actually brood idolatry. Why would delay brood idolatry? It's because you feel you've waited on a God for so long, and then you feel like it makes you assume that this God is not working. So you start looking for different things that could actually help you achieve. So to the Israelites, they felt Moses was delaying and they decided to make themselves a god. So delay broods idolatry. Delay can shift you from your position, from the position where God expects to find you. And when he comes, he does not find you at your location. And remember, God is not going to look for you where he did not leave you or where he did not command you to be. So that is what diabolical delay does. It will shift you from your position. And when your miracle finally comes, you've already left your position. And God will say, I tried to look for a man. I looked for a man. I looked for you. I looked for someone to work with, and you are not there. You are not at your position. Because idolatry has taken over. A desire to self-help has taken over. In the stages of delay, people do different things. Because most people pray, most people fast, most people do exactly what they know what to do. Everything humanly possible. And the frustrations that come out of delay force people to self-help, to look for other options. For example, you'd look at a woman who has been waiting on God for marriage for a very long time, and they're like, God, I think this is it. This is it. Just like you see the children just like you see the Israelites. They waited on Moses and were like, this is it. So most women or men would wait on God, and they're like, I've waited for a marital partner. I've waited for this job. I've waited for this deal. I've waited for this, and it is delayed. And they're like, I've believed God, I've worshipped him, I've given, I've sacrificed, and this is not happening. What will happen next? Some will take matters into their own hands. If it is marriage, someone will not wait on the kingdom husband that they're supposed to get. They will just get any person available as long as their hearts or their bodies desire them, and they shall get married to them. If it's a job, someone will work something out. They will do the impossible to get that job without, in what we call cordial ways, and they will get that job or get that deal. People will cheat themselves. People will cheat their way through life if they've waited on God and they feel God is not answering. And it's not because God is not answering, it's because you've been you've left your position. You've waited so long, and the diabolical spirit pushed you out of your position. So that is one form of delay. You need to discern what has caused this delay in my life. Is it a delay orchestrated by God, or is it a delay by diabolical spirits? So the other delay is what we call prophetic delay. The other form of delay is prophetic delay. Now, this prophetic delay is usually orchestrated by God. Our Bible verse that is going to incite us on prophetic delays is in 1 Samuel 1:6. 1 Samuel 1:6, but let's start from 1 Samuel 1:1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim, Zophim, of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Fast forward in verse 6. And her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Now we are going to talk about prophetic delays. A delay can be prophetic. It can be orchestrated by God. Remember, we've been looking at a delay that is orchestrated by diabolic spirits, like in the case of the Israelites with Moses. Now we are talking about a delay that has been orchestrated by God, or what we call prophetic delays. We see that Hannah was not simply barren. Hannah was not barren. Her womb had been closed by God. Verse 6 says, and her rival also provoked her severely to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So the delay on Hannah's side was not because Hannah was not doing the right thing. It was not because of evil spirits. The delay had been orchestrated by God himself. And God had a reason why he had orchestrated this. Because God had chosen Hannah to birth a prophet for Jerusalem. To birth a prophet in that season. So Hannah's child was not going to be any ordinary child. Hannah's child was going to be a prophet that was needed in that season. So God closed Hannah's womb until exactly that time when the prophet was needed. And when Hannah gave birth to prophet Samuel. So in Hannah's situation, Hannah was waiting on the Lord. So you need to be prophetic when you're experiencing delay. You need to decipher, you need to discern, is the delay I am going through orchestrated by God? Does God know about what I'm going through? All this is evil that is working against me. You need to discern that, because if it is orchestrated by diabolic spirits, then that means you are supposed to have a breakthrough, but your breakthrough is just being denied. And if it is orchestrated by God, then it is just a matter of time. Your time has not yet come, and when that time comes, there is going to be what we call divine speed. So Hannah had been asking God for a bigger blessing. Hannah was not asking God for any child like Peninnah. You know, Peninnah was year in, year out of labor. But she was just giving birth to ordinary children. Hannah had asked God for a remarkable child, for a prophet. So when you are waiting on a remarkable miracle, when you're waiting for a remarkable breakthrough, your breakthroughs shall not come as easy as other people's breakthrough. Recently, I was talking to a friend, and the friend gave me an insight on this teaching. I'm actually doing this teaching because a friend incited me. I had been complaining about something. And when I was complaining about something, I'm like, I feel delayed in this particular situation. Then this person asked me, have you considered that your delay could be prophetic? Have you considered that your delay could be orchestrated by God? And I'm like, wait a minute. God can actually orchestrate delays? You mean God could be happy that I am in this situation? So it took me searching, it took me praying, and it took me to discover about this topic. And that's why I'm actually speaking about this topic. So delays can totally be prophetic. But when the season comes, God shall give you speed. Hannah was given, when it was time for Samuel, for the prophet to be born, God gave Hannah speed, and his child was born, and her child, Prophet Samuel, was born in the right time, the time where God needed a prophet. So we notice that Hannah's breakthrough was not only a personal breakthrough. Hannah's breakthrough was Israel's breakthrough, was Jacob's breakthrough, was Jerusalem's breakthrough. So Hannah's breakthrough was birthing a prophet for Israel in that appointed time. So God delayed or blocked Hannah's womb because Hannah's womb was supposed to open for her to give birth to a prophet who was supposed to be a prophet who was going in Israel, who was going to save Israel. So you need, if your delay is orchestrated by God, God shall bring divine speed in the appointed due time. Another verse we are going to look at that shows a delay that has been orchestrated by diabolic spirits or orchestrated by the devil is in the book of Daniel. We're going to read Daniel chapter 10, verse 12. 10:12 says, "Then he said to me, 'Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the latter days. For the vision refers to many days yet to come.'" Daniel had gotten a vision, and Daniel was praying to understand what this vision was about and for a breakthrough. Daniel was praying for a breakthrough for Jerusalem, and in this season of him waiting and praying, he started a fast. So he voiced his desires to the Lord, but the Lord answered his prayers immediately. Immediately he was answered. But then here he was delayed for 21 days. Actually, people talk about Daniel's fast, not knowing where this fast comes from. This fast comes out of delay. If Daniel had received his answered prayer in 4 days, his fast would have ended in 4 days. If he had received his answered prayer in 7 days, his fast would have ended in 7 days. But the angel Gabriel was held by the prince of Persia for 21 days, and Daniel did not give up. Daniel kept pushing in prayer and fasting. Daniel kept pushing because in him pushing, he was strengthening his angel. He was strengthening the angel that was bringing his answer to him. So when your delay has been orchestrated by the devil, you need to keep in prayer. Remember, we say if your delay, you've discerned that your delay is orchestrated prophetically by God, you need to stand still and wait on God's time and season. But if it is orchestrated by the devil, then you need to be in prayer. You need to keep in constant prayer and fasting because there is something that is fighting your breakthrough. Like we see in Daniel 10:12, the angel says, verse 13 says, "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me for 21 days." The answer, God had already released Daniel's answer, but a principality held the angel from delivering the answer to Daniel for 21 days. Had Daniel stopped praying, had he stopped fasting, let's say at day 4, then he would never have received that answer. So when your delay is orchestrated by diabolic spirits, you need to, for as long as it takes, you need to keep in constant prayer. You need to fast. You need to do all the principles the principles of heavenly achievement until you've achieved. The kingdom has a word we call push. Pray until something happens. If you see any form of delay, if you haven't discerned that the delay is being orchestrated by the prophetic, then push, keep pushing, keep praying, keep fasting, keep sacrificing, keep giving until you eventually get your answer. Daniel did not stop praying, and it was just a matter of time that King Michael came upon and helped and fought the kings of Persia, and then Daniel's answer was brought to him by angel Gabriel. So you have to keep in prayer to win the diabolical spirits. So delay is not between you. You need to understand that delay is not between you and God. No. Because remember, the Bible has showed us in Daniel 10 that Daniel 10:12 that do not fear, Daniel, for from the very first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard. So literally from the very first day you pray, the very first day you voice your desire, God hears your prayer and answers. But then what happens? Delay sets in. Delay sets in. So delay is not between you and God, because the day you pray, God releases an answer for your prayers. Delay is between you and spiritual roadblocks. Delay is between you and the spiritual and the spirits and the spiritual realm. That is why there's what we call spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is not between you and God. No, it is what happens after God has released your answer. Spiritual warfare is between the angels that are bringing your answer down to you and the diabolical spirits that are fighting that answer does not manifest to you. So that for you to continue in prayer and to continue in fasting is to empower the angels, is to empower that which is fighting for you, for your prayers to manifest. So the only way you're going to deal with a delay is for you to first discern, where is this delay coming from? Okay, yes, I've done it all, but where is this delay coming from? If the delay is from God, yes, you might feel tired, yet you might feel everyone else has gone on ahead of you. But the moment you discern that God has delayed you for a purpose, be still, be at peace, because when his time comes, he's going to come with divine speed. The answer shall come with divine speed. So discern what has brought about this delay. If then you understand and you've discerned that this delay, first and foremost, I want you to know that if delay is orchestrated by the prophetic, then it is in line with the word of God. But if you say your delay is not in the line of God, and you discern that it is evil, it is diabolical spirits, it's evil spirits that are orchestrating your delay, then you need to keep in prayer, constant prayer, until you eventually receive your manifestation. Keep asking God for divine speed. Ask him for the grace to wait out. Ask for divine speed for that which has been delayed to manifest. Ask for the grace, because we delay broods idolatry. Delay dismantles your position. It takes you away from your position. Delay broods jealousy. Delay broods so many things. So ask God for the grace to wait out. you need to you also should compare times and seasons, discern times and seasons. I'll give you an example. Let's say you wanted to get married, and you're right now, let's say like you're 60. Don't you think that is delay? But if you're probably 25, don't you think God is just simply waiting for the right time? I'm not saying that it's only people at 25 who should get married. I'm just simply saying discern times and seasons. So ask God for divine speed, compare times and seasons.